The Cecil Hotel, squatting in the heart of Los Angeles' Skid Row, was no stranger to darkness. Built in the 1920s as a haven for travelers, its Art Deco facade masked a grim legacy by 2013. Murders, suicides, and the transient stays of serial killers like Richard Ramirez and Jack Unterweger had earned it the moniker America's Hotel Death. Its 700 rooms, many functioning as single-room rentals with shared bathrooms, housed a mix of tourists, drifters, and the desperate. Into this shadowed world stepped Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old Canadian student, on January 28, 2013. Her solo trip along the West Coast was meant to be an adventure, a break from her studies at the University of British Columbia. Instead, it became a mystery that haunts true crime forums and imaginations to this day. Elisa arrived in Los Angeles via Amtrak, her journey documented through cheerful social media posts. She visited the San Diego Zoo, snapping photos, and checked into the Cecil, opting for its budget-friendly hostel section, Stay on Main. Initially assigned a shared room on the 5th floor, Elisa's behavior soon raised eyebrows. Her roommates complained of odd behavior, notes left on beds demanding they go home or go away, locking the door and requiring passwords for entry. Amy Price, the hotel's manager, later recounted these incidents, describing Elisa as increasingly erratic. After 2 days, she was moved to a private room. On January 31st, the day she was due to check out and head to Santa Cruz, Elisa vanished. Her daily calls to her parents in Vancouver stopped, prompting them to alert the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD. The LAPD searched the Cecil as far as legally permitted. They scoured Elisa's room, sent sniffer dogs through the building, and checked the rooftop, but found no trace of her. Her belongings, laptop, clothing, personal items, remained in her room, with no signs of forced entry or drug use. The only clue came from a bookstore manager, Katie Orphan, who recalled Elisa as outgoing, lively, friendly, while buying gifts at the last bookstore that day. As days turned to weeks, the police hit a dead end. On February 15th, they released a grainy surveillance video from a hotel elevator, hoping for leads. What they unleashed was a viral phenomenon that would fuel speculation for years. The 4-minute clip is unsettling. Elisa, dressed in a red hoodie, black shorts, and sandals, steps into the elevator and presses multiple buttons. The doors don't close. She peers out, as if expecting someone, then retreats, pressing herself against the wall. Her movements grow frantic. She steps in and out, gestures wildly, and at one point appears to be speaking to an unseen presence. Her hands move in strange, almost choreographed patterns, like she's pawing at the air. Then, she exits the frame, and the elevator doors finally close. The video, viewed millions of times, became a Rorschach test for armchair detectives. Was she hiding from someone? Drugged? Possessed? Playing a paranormal game, as some suggested, like the Korean elevator game, meant to summon ghosts? For 19 days, Elisa remained missing. Guests at the Cecil began complaining about low water pressure and a foul, metallic taste in the tap water. On February 19th, maintenance worker Santiago Lopez climbed a 10-foot ladder to inspect one of the 4 1,000-gallon water tanks on the hotel's roof. Lifting the 20-pound lid, he found Elisa's nude body floating face up, her clothes and belongings bobbing nearby. The discovery was gruesome. Guests had been drinking and bathing in water contaminated by her decomposing corpse. Firefighters cut open the tank to retrieve her, leaving a gaping hole visible when her parents later visited the site. Amy Price, who accompanied them, recalled the mother's anguished screams and the father's stony silence, a scene of raw grief etched into her memory. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office initially ruled the cause of death undetermined, but later concluded it was accidental drowning, with bipolar disorder listed as a significant factor. Elisa had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, prescribed multiple medications, an antidepressant, a mood stabilizer, and an antipsychotic. Toxicology reports showed she had taken at least one antidepressant that day, but had recently skipped doses of her other medications. This irregularity, experts noted, could trigger manic episodes or hallucinations in someone with bipolar disorder. Her Tumblr posts, a digital diary of her thoughts, revealed struggles with mental health, though she shared them openly, blending fashion, travel, and raw introspection. The official ruling did little to quell speculation. The Cecil's dark history, 16 non-natural deaths since 1927, including the rumored presence of Elizabeth Short before her 1947 murder as the Black Dahlia, fed theories of foul play or supernatural forces. How had Elisa accessed the rooftop, supposedly locked and alarmed? How did she climb into a tank with a heavy lid, strip naked, and drown? Internet sleuths dissected every detail, pointing to eerie coincidences. The horror film Dark Water, where a girl's body is found in a rooftop tank, a tuberculosis test named L.A.M. Elisa, even the bookstore's address, supposedly linking to a Canadian cemetery. These connections, while compelling, were often explained by apophenia, the human tendency to see patterns in random data. Director Joe Berlinger's 2021 Netflix docuseries, Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, attempted to untangle the case. It featured interviews with police, the coroner, Amy Price, and even web sleuths who admitted their early conspiracies were misguided. Forensic pathologist Dr. Jason Tovar emphasized the absence of trauma or assault on Elisa's body, ruling out murder. Detectives noted her history of hiding during manic episodes, once under her bed, requiring hospitalization. The series posited a plausible scenario. Elisa, in a manic or hallucinatory state, fled to the roof via one of the 14th floor's access points, climbed into the tank seeking safety, and couldn't escape. Her clothes, removed to fight hypothermia or aid treading water, floated beside her as she drowned. Yet the docuseries didn't satisfy everyone. Critics argued it leaned too heavily on the Cecil's cursed reputation, sensationalizing Elisa's death while sidelining her humanity. Her family, declining to participate, sought privacy to grieve, wary of narratives painting her as a victim of evil forces. Amy Price, in her memoir Behind the Door, insisted there was no conspiracy, only tragedy. "I was involved from the beginning," she told Fox News. "There's no mystery here." She described the hotel's gritty reality: overworked staff, a rough neighborhood, and a building too old to escape its past. Theories persist. Some cling to paranormal explanations, citing the Cecil's haunted aura or the elevator footage's uncanny vibe. Others speculate about a cover-up, though no evidence supports this. The simplest explanation, backed by science, points to Elisa's mental health crisis. Her erratic behavior, disrupting a Conan taping, leaving paranoid notes, announcing "I'm crazy" in the lobby, aligned with past episodes when she skipped medication. The roof's access wasn't as secure as claimed. Fire escapes and lack security made it reachable. The tank's lid, while heavy, wasn't impossible to lift, and her small frame could have slipped through. Elisa Lam's story is a tragedy, not a ghost tale. She was a young woman seeking escape, her life cut short by a perfect storm of mental illness and circumstance. The Cecil, now closed but slated for redevelopment, remains a symbol of urban decay and lost dreams. Her case lingers because it resists tidy answers, a puzzle where every piece fits, yet the picture remains incomplete. As Berlinger said, "We can't know exactly what was in her mind. What's certain is the loss, a vibrant soul, extinguished too soon,